question right here wants to solve for the variable y. Okay, and there are two variables. There is a y and an x, but that doesn't really matter. We just want to get all of our y's to one side and by themselves. So this is a linear equation. You might recognize this as when you graph a line. And when we solve for y, we're really just getting it into slope-intercept form. So if we look at the steps to solve a linear equation, we don't have to worry about any of these. We only have to worry about isolating the variable. So here she is, the grumpy y, wants to be all by herself. And we need to get rid of two things. We need to get rid of the minus 3 that's multiplying, and we need to get rid of this 5x that's out here. So I usually say to get rid of what's farthest, which is the 5x. All right, and if we don't want a 5x on the left-hand side, how do we get rid of a 5x? We are going to subtract 5x, okay? And I can do that. I can just subtract 5x from the left-hand side. 5x minus 5x is 0. But I can only subtract 5x on the left-hand side if I also subtract 5x on the right-hand side of the equal sign. Let me make that 5 look a little better. Let's try that again. A 5. Here we go. Okay, what you do to the left side, you have to do to the right side also. All right, let me bring it down. I'll drop down my equal sign. On the left-hand side is just negative 3y. On the right side is 12 minus 5x. You could leave it like that. We usually like to put the variable first. So I'm going to write it as negative 5x, and that's a positive 12, so plus 12. Okay, and one more step to get this grumpy y by itself. Okay, now at this point also, you don't want to look at anything else. You know, this is all I'm looking at right here. Okay, so if I'm looking at just that part right there, I want to get the grumpy y by itself, and I want to get rid of the negative 3. How is that negative 3 connected to the y? Well, there's no plus sign in between them, so it's multiplication. How do I get rid of multiplication? I'm going to divide. I will divide the left side by negative 3. Negative 3 over negative 3 is a positive 1. That will give me 1y, which is exactly what I want. But I can't divide the left side by negative 3 without doing the same to the right side. I could put the entire side over negative 3. That might be fine. I am actually going to divide every term by negative 3. So it's like I've already split up that one big fraction into two fractions. Okay, so another way to say it is divide everything by negative 3. Every term on the left and every term on the right. All right, my y is now by itself. This is actually a 1y, which is what I want. Don't need to write that 1 as a coefficient. Negative 5x over negative 3. Negative over negative is going to give me a positive. And it's going to be 5 over 3. I'll put the x right here. I could put the x up here with the 5. Plus 12 over negative 3, that's going to be minus 4. Okay, so you could leave it in the other form. You could leave this whole thing as a fraction if you wanted to, but this is actually slope-intercept form, which is something that you're going to use in other math. So I'm going to leave it like this. Okay. It could also be fine if you left it like this. Let's say negative 5x plus 12 over negative 3. And we don't really want to leave the negative on the bottom. We'd multiply the top and the bottom through by a negative 1. So without actually getting too deep into those details, everything's going to change sign. Okay, multiply the top, negative times negative is positive is negative. And on the bottom would be this. So this is another way you might see this answer. Okay, and if you don't like that, you can just go back to this.